to Paul Vato. My guest today is Michelle. Very traditional. Uh, Fireside. Music going. Michelle will show up. Start the show. You are on and all right, let's find it. There you are, Michelle. This is the live show. Let me invite you up and then I'll turn the music up. It's no secret. Let me invite you to video.
It's no secret.
Yay, made it.
It's plain to see. I love you. And you love me.
Arigato!
Arigato.
Arigato, Mr. Paul Vato. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Vato, and this is Paul Vato Presents. And today, my very special guest is Michelle Malizaki. I hope I'm
Yay.
pronouncing that right. That's
Yeah.
such a traditional Japanese name, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh my goodness. I thought I thought it was. Well, welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for spending a little bit of time with us today. Michelle is a brilliant stand-up comedian, a musical artist. She has recorded a few other podcasts. I first found out about her through my friend Christina Blackburn, who has a great podcast called Storyworthy. And I was a guest of Christina's as well. So it's a great podcast. It's a lot of fun, a lot of industry people. So I want to welcome everyone that's here and then people that are watching us on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube. So Michelle, thank you so much for taking time to be here. We're live on Fireside, so welcome.
Yay, thank you for having me on your show.
100%. I'm so glad that you were able to do it. I have so many questions to ask, cultural differences, comedy, and all that incredible background. Would you be kind enough to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you live? Maybe not your address, but where you live, and where you've performed and things like that.
Okay, I am originally from Japan, but I just found out I'm not a Japanese person anymore because I become an American. And in Japan, there are only two kinds of people, Japanese and non-Japanese. And I am neither. I'm a former Japanese.
Interesting. Are they called? Is that gaijin? Is that the right word or no?
I'm not gaijin. I'm just a former Japanese.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that because you became an American citizen, so you're no longer recognized as Japanese?
The second I sworn in as like different foreign nationality, then my Japanese citizenship just evaporates. I didn't know that.
Wow. And this is because of the Japanese government, not the U.S.
Yeah.
government?
No,
I
the
see.
American government that you have like multiple citizenships.
That's what I thought, but I think at back there used to be a time where you could only have, if you were a U.S. citizen, I thought you could only have a U.S. passport, but I know that that's changed because I know people have multiple passports, so I don't know what changed.
Yeah, but with Japanese government, you can't have dual citizenships, so
Mhm.
just one. So as soon as I sworn in as American, then no more Japanese.
No more Japanese.
Darn it!
You,
Because I all my jokes are about being Japanese. Oh no,
now you can't make any more Japanese jokes. They might get
no,
offended.
no. What am I gonna do?
I, you got to rewrite your whole act.
I know.
Maybe you could divorce your present husband and marry a Japanese guy, and then you could make Japanese jokes.
No, but okay. I don't know. I'm still lost since I found about this because I don't know. I thought I was. I never belonged to any group. Uh I'm always
When
like
did
an
this?
outsider.
When did this happen? How long? When did you find out that you were no longer
I
Japanese?
just found out recently, but I
Do
didn't
you?
know. Yeah, because I
Interesting.
become American citizen a while back.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Now you recently went to Japan. Is that right?
yeah, I just did, and I had to get a visa.
Oh yeah, because you're not Japanese. Of course, you have
Because
to get a
I'm not
visa.
a Japanese person. No,
Oh
I had to
no.
apply for a visa, and then they ask for a picture, so I sent my picture in, and then they called me and said, "Oh, your picture's too old. You have to send a current picture." How do they know that my face hasn't changed? It's the same person.
And and you look very young, so it doesn't matter when it was
Oh,
taken.
oh, it's the filter. I think it's like an automatic filter thing. Because my
Well,
room looks nice.
mine's not working. I don't think because I look old, so I don't know what happened.
I've never met you in person, so I don't know.
I look even better in person. I think.
Oh, a lot of people do. Like, you do Zoom shows, and then you never meet those guys, girls, people in person, and then when you meet them, you're like, oh my gosh, they are really nice looking.
You're like, stay off the Zoom. It makes you look ugly.
I mean, I look the same. I look the same. That's my cat. My cat's kind of famous for barging into internet virtual shows.
Very interesting. I love that.
Yeah, but she never talks to me during the day.
No,
No, it's just when I'm like talking on somebody else other than the cat, then she just, hey guys.
what's your cat's name?
Mochi?
Mochi.
Yeah, like the food mochi. I
That's a good.
also have a dog named Peanut. Like all my pets are named after food items.
I see that. Do you have any fish?
I don't eat them. It's just names.
We're not. We're not going to go there. I don't think. Right? Maybe. You're like, I'm Japanese, not Korean. Oh. Don't tell
Oh,
Bobby Lee.
but
Awesome.
Japanese people didn't eat beef nor pork till 170 years ago.
Was it strictly pescatarian or vegetarian or what?
No, we I can't remember because Japanese people believe in many different things, but one of the religions think that eating four-legged animals are not right. So till like because Japan, the country was closed off
Yep.
since 75 years ago. So till then, when the foreigners came in, we did not eat four-legged animals.
That
And
is
we
very
thought that was like so savage to eat like pork? No, beef? No.
interesting. Interesting. So you could eat like chicken, of course, or
Chicken or
yeah,
fish.
two
Yeah.
legs.
Yeah, two legs. One is like,
Humans, maybe humans, two legs.
oh.
No,
Is it? I'm sure it tastes like chicken.
it tastes like chicken. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Were you raised religious, or what is the predominant? I'm guessing was it Buddhism, or what's the predominant
No, my
religion?
parents are actually Christians. They met at the church youth group, but my parents are like they're age their age difference is like 8 years. So like youth group, really? Like is my dad a pedophile?
Maybe, maybe. My parents were like over 10 years apart
Oh
in
wow.
age difference, of course. Of
But
course.
they didn't meet at the youth group, did they?
No, my father was not a pedophile.
Oh, so your mom's older than your dad.
Yeah, she was the pedophile.
Oh, so cool. I want to be like her.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, yeah, you do. If anyone's listening, Michelle is a comedian, so let's not start telling people about us. Um, Wonderful. So, when did you decide to come to the U.S.? Because I know that you had an affinity, I think, for maybe
Yeah,
American television.
yeah. Well, I wanted to. Well, I came to America because I wanted to. Okay, my mom told me ever since I was in fifth grade. My mom told me to marry a white guy because half white, half Asian kids are cute.
That's
And
true.
I actually wanted to marry a British person. I guess you can't marry two, so you just one. But then America was closer than England, so I came here.
Oh,
Yeah,
wonderful. And did your dreams come true? Did you end up marrying
yeah,
a
yeah.
white guy?
I ended up marrying a white guy from Ohio.
That's as white as you can get.
No, I think I didn't know, but Wisconsin is whiter white people. I didn't know.
That is true. I grew up in Chicago, well, in the suburbs, in Illinois, which is right by both Ohio and Wisconsin. And you're right. I think Wisconsin, you could have done a little bit better and found a white guy from Wisconsin.
Yeah. Oh well, I didn't know.
Next time,
Next time, next. Yeah, Wisconsin, 10 years younger. That's on my list.
yeah, go to a youth group and maybe you can find
Oh.
a future husband. Uh, what does your husband think about you doing stand up? Were you doing stand up when you guys met, or how long have you been doing stand
No,
up?
no. Well, I actually used to do TV production for Japanese TV, and I've done like many different shows, like news about like surrogate mothers, like documentaries, to sports news. But like when I tell people that I was on sports news, you might think, oh my gosh, why are you famous? My hand like holding a microphone like this was famous right here, just here. Yeah, not me.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah,
Now,
and
is it
then
true?
I used to travel with the Yankees because they had a Japanese player, and I get to go inside of the locker room after they take showers after the game. That was my job. What a job! I got
What a
paid.
job. Do you miss it?
I don't know, like it was fun. I mean, you go there, we used to rotate like 2 weeks at a time to follow, and that was fun. And some baseball stadiums have better food than the others. Like Arizona, Diamondbacks, they have good food, but like Dodgers,
Maybe
I
that's a show.
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
should we should do a show where we go to different parks and try their food.
Yeah, the San Diego Padres have good food at the concession stand.
Yeah,
Yeah, and also Boston Red Sox, they have good food. They got chowders.
of course, Boston.
Yeah, but it's kind of like baseball season is kind of hot, and then you eat chowders. But it's so good.
I, Wonderful. Did you have to pay for your own food, or
No,
was it a
well,
budget?
actually, at the press level, they have press food, and you eat some of those, and then you go downstairs and eat more food.
I would love to do that job,
Yeah, it's fun.
except for going into the men's showers. But you seem to enjoy that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course I do.
They're like, you can leave now. You're like, I'm not done yet. I got to interview more
I'm not
players.
done yet. Oh,
You pervert.
oh, no, 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 just, I wasn't touching. I was just looking. Looking is okay, as long as you don't touch.
Oh, okay. That is good to know. That is good to know. So, how long have you been doing stand up comedy?
I've been doing it for like 5 years. Before that, I used to do improv. I had a midlife crisis and I took some improv classes at the park and rec. I park and rec, and then that led me to the second city. And I was just taking a class at a time, and I ended up finishing the conservatory program. But improv, you have, and I had so much fun. But you have to have team to perform,
Sure.
and um, it's, it's easy to form a team, but it's hard to maintain a team.
Oh, I
And
know. I
yeah,
studied
after a
improv.
while, people are not excited to practice anymore. Like, oh, I have to pay $40 for the session, and I don't know. And so I started to perform by myself. I was singing and stuff, and I had no idea about stand up comedy. I didn't know at all. It's like I live here forever in America, but I didn't know stand up comedy existed till like 5 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, because it's not that big in Japan. Is that right?
It's becoming like very recently, but it's in Japan, comedy style is usually two people doing skits, so it's very different. And uh and stand-up comedy, it's, I don't know, I just love it.
And you're very good at it. I've seen some of your
Aw.
sets. They're yeah, they're wonderful. And I love to talk to you about Second City. Was that in Los Angeles where you studied, or
Yes,
were you
that
in
one in
Chicago?
Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah, of course. Of course. Did you ever do anything at Upright Citizens Brigade or
Yes,
Improv
I
Olympic?
also took classes at UCB, and I did shows at IO West.
Yeah,
And I also took an improv class before, like way before, when I was pregnant, like 7 months pregnant. And I'm like, at the gosh, where, groundings.
sure.
But yeah, but I was too pregnant, so I'm like, ah, I can't do this.
How long ago was this? How old are your
That
kids?
My kids are 16 and 11. No, 12, 12, 12. 12.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do you like improv better or stand up better?
I like improv. I love improv. I really love improvised music, like musicals.
Hmm.
But that one is really hard to practice because you have to have somebody who could play piano or keyboard, and then you have to get a group of people who's willing to make fun of themselves.
Sure, sure.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, I like musical improv the most.
Wonderful. You had a song go viral, didn't you? Did you have a famous song about napping?
Yeah, well, I had a nap time by Napster. It's a song for the of it's an official song for National Napping Day.
When is National Napping Day?
That's the day after the daylight saving time starts. You lose an hour the day before, so
Mm.
you get to take a nap the next day.
I didn't know that. That's great. And your song is the official song for National Napping Day?
Yes. Actually, you know what happened? So I found out, so I wrote a song called Nap Time by Napster. And then I found out there's a National Napping Day. And I tracked down the guy who found it that day. And I sent him email. I'm like, I have a, perfect song for National Napping Day. Can it be an official song? And he's like, sure. Yay.
Yay! That's fantastic. Can people download it or can they find it somewhere? Where can they
Yeah,
find your song?
you could download it, or you could find it on YouTube or iTunes or all those places.
Wonderful. That is fantastic. I've seen it. I think it's funny. I think it's great. And congratulations on having
Oh,
such a
thank you.
viral song. That's fantastic.
Well, actually, my TikTok went viral.
Really? Where
Yeah,
can
yeah, I
people?
got a 4.6 million views.
That's a lot. That is a
Yeah, yeah,
lot.
yeah. But
What?
yeah, in that video, I did not talk, or I did not show my face. Then it went viral. So that's what I should just hands.
Just hands. Nobody nobody wants to see your face. Just
No,
hands.
just hands. So I should do like a video about me washing dishes or I don't know, clipping nails,
Yes, yeah, I agree. Well, if you
do
want to
laundry.
everything, yeah, yeah. I had a question about your last name. You capitalize the Z. Is that for
Z.
a particular reason? Why do you capitalize the Z in your last name? I'm just
Oh, because
curious.
it's Malizaki. Malizaki.
Okay, that's good.
But it's not
Malizaki.
actually. This is not a Japanese last name. You know, if it's Japanese last name, there shouldn't be L. It should be R.
Marizaki.
Yeah, Malizaki. I'm married to a guy named Malenzak, and I used to go to audition as Michelle Malenzak, and people didn't buy it. Like, who's this lady? So I just Japanified it from Malenzak to Marizaki.
That's really funny. That okay because I was interested and I almost Googled it because I was like, I don't think it's Japanese, but it kind of sounds Japanese, like it could be Japanese. That's brilliant that you did that. So, what's your husband's last name?
Malenzak.
Malinzak. Yeah.
No, it's Malenzak. I know, like when I people are like, usually tell me, "Oh, your name is pronounced Malenzak," and then I ask all the people at Malenzak family, and they're like, "No, no, no, it's Malenzak. No, it's gosh, I don't know anymore."
Where is your husband's family from? His
Like
parents.
Pittsburgh, Ohio, and but I think they are originally from Czechoslovakia,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and
That.
Malenzak means coal miner.
Oh. I like. I like Zaki.
Yeah, so I guess that means coal miner
Gold miner.
instead of coal miner.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Did you know English when you moved to the USA?
Well, I actually went to a school called what Temple University, Japan. The Temple in Pittsburgh has a branch in Tokyo,
Hmm.
and I went there for a year. And my teacher taught us English like oh, hold on. Oh my god. For sure, for sure. Get me with the spoon.
Was this in the 80s?
Yeah, yeah, in the 80s. And my teacher was gay, which was like we thought he was flamboyant because he's an American, but he was overly flamboyant because he was I don't know, he still is gay.
Probably. Probably still
Yeah.
is. Now, I heard a funny story that when you used to watch television shows when you were growing up, you thought that all these actors actually spoke Japanese.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, oh my gosh, I used to watch Little House on Prairie every Saturday at 5 p.m. I'm like, oh my gosh, those actors, they speak pretty good Japanese for, white people, but it's little off. But I was like really impressed. And then like later on, it turned out it was a voiceover. I didn't know that.
No wonder you came to America. You're like, I'm going to be a star. I already speak
I
Japanese.
know I speak better Japanese.
I didn't realize how different Japan is because it's so long, and how different the maybe different cultures of Japan, depending on whether you're from the north or the south or the middle. I mean, there's just so much territory to cover.
Yeah, people look a little bit different from the people from the north and the south. From the south, I think you could totally blend in south.
Me, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have an Asian spirit. I love all things Asian, and I studied Taekwondo, which I know
Oh
is
wow.
Korean, and I love sushi. And but I did my DNA, and I have zero Asian. I was very sad because I have an epicantal fold, so people think I'm Polynesian or. But that's interesting to think that I could be like from the south of Japan.
Yeah, northern Japanese people tend to be like, I don't know, they look a little bit different. And then like middle part is a little bit different. And then also we dress differently. Like people from Tokyo wear more monotonous, like black, gray, navy blue kind of muted outfit. But people from Osaka, they are loud, like checkered, plaid, red,
Are
leopard
you from
prints.
Osaka?
Yeah, people from Osaka, they are loud and they talk loud.
Where
So
where, where were
when
you
you,
born?
I was born in Yamaguchi, but I was raised in Tokyo, so I'm from like the middle part of like Tokyo area. And
Interesting.
so if you spot a Japanese person in town, he could be from Osaka because you spotted him because he was talking loudly.
Like an American when we're on vacation, talking loud. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I went to Italy on an American tour during Christmas, like many years ago, and oh my gosh, some of the people came from Texas, and they were ehaing in Italy.
Oh my God.
Eha, like what? I've never seen anybody ehaing in America, but in Italy there are like American people ehaing.
That's ridiculous.
And then like they wanted us to all sing Christmas Carol on the bus, tour bus. Oh my god, I don't know any songs.
Of course. Yeah, of course. When did you go to Italy?
That was like 20 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, almost 20 years ago. Yeah. But I was like, oh my god, I never seen Americans like
That's crazy. What other Asian countries have you been to?
I've never been to any other Asian countries. Just Japan. And
Just
I've
Japan.
never even been to Okinawa, which is supposed to be part of Japan, which is Japan, but it's like cheaper to come to Los Angeles than going to Okinawa.
Wow, why is that? That's
I
crazy.
think there are more flights coming this way than that way.
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. What other places have you visited that you like? Not necessarily, not in Asia, but you said Italy. Have you been to
Yeah, I went
France
to
or Spain or any
I
other
went to
places?
Scotland. I wanna go to Glasgow again. And Edinburgh was nice. And yeah, London was nice. I've been to England.
Did you go to Edinburgh for the comedy festival? Because
I
right now.
wish, I wish. I went there after the festival season.
Okay.
And but I saw all those, guys wearing kilts and like so windy. I'm like, oh my god.
I mean, you're used to seeing all these penises when you were in the sports in the locker room. So
Oh, for free. I mean, and I got paid. See, some people, pay to see those, and I got paid to see those.
that's brilliant. You made a lot of money. That's good.
I did. I even remodel my windows in a house with that Matsui money. It was a Matsui, the Godzilla, the guy outfielder from Japan that we were covering, and I spent all my Matsui money on those expensive bay window.
Good for you. Good for you. Uh, were you guys just doing a story on him, or were you always just interviewing him for Japanese television? What were you
Yeah,
doing
we were
with?
always interviewing for Japanese television.
Oh, wonderful. He
Yeah,
must have
but
had a.
yeah, it's great. Like, well, it usually ends by 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m. But one time I was at, is it Double A in Las Vegas? I cover. It wasn't for Matsui. It was for somebody else, and it went on for like 16 innings till like almost 2 a.m. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is too long.
Yeah, I think the longest. in a professional game. That's how crazy is that? That you're right. It goes till 2, 3 in
Yeah,
the morning.
yeah. And but
Wow,
the
that is
best game experience I've ever had was at the gosh, where is it? It's called the Twins. It's in Minnesota, the Twin City.
Minnesota
Yeah,
Twins.
No, Minnesota
Mhm.
Saints. It was it's a Independence League, and their mascot is a pig named Hamlet. And then he or she, the pig, brings out the first ball on the field, and then you have the first pitch. And I don't know, like I had so much fun there.
When was this? How
Oh,
long
it
ago was
was a
this? When were
while
you
back,
doing this?
maybe like 10 years ago. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. That's awesome. I mean, I know that baseball is very popular in Japan, so they must have been very proud of this guy that was from
Oh, that
Japan.
now Otani. I know there's gonna be a lot of Otani money going, but I didn't get called in. That's
Sorry to hear that. I mean,
okay.
you still have your hands.
Yeah, yeah, and
Let's
I
get
still
you.
have my beautiful hands.
So, when was the first time that you stepped on stage by yourself to do stand
It
up?
was 2017 in March, and I was just like talking and singing, and yeah, I had no idea what. Gosh, there's a cat hair all over. I had no idea what the stand up comedy was till like 3 months in. I was going to open mics, and then I saw this girl doing jokes after jokes, and I'm like, well, that's brilliant. You know, what's that? What's that called? And somebody told me that's stand up comedy. I'm like, what? I mean, I've watched Seinfeld before, the
Mhm.
TV show, and he was supposed to be a stand up comedian, but I had no idea that's what he was doing at the end of the show. I always thought that was weird that he's talking in a darkness and then you hear the laugh track. I thought that was like American TV thing, like laugh track. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Did you take any stand up classes, or did you just
Yeah,
because I know that in
I have
LA.
taken like many classes. I've like little obsessive personality, I guess. I took many classes in mm, I took the one at the I researched on the internet, and then I found one that sounds great. So I took it, and it was the worst class ever. And then I took one at the second city that was really good.
A stand up class, stand up
Stand up
comedy
class, yeah.
class. Oh,
And
wonderful. That's good.
I have also taken classes in New York.
I'm going to when we talk offline, I'll ask you who was the bad one because I'd like to do that also. I've done stand up a few times, but I'm an improviser. I'm more about sketch and improv and all that. But I'd still like to do stand up, but I don't want to go to a bad
I
school.
know. It was one of the more expensive classes.
It's too bad.
I
I think I
know,
know who it is.
but I
Male
didn't
or
give up.
female? Good for you. Was it a male or female instructor?
Male. And then at the beginning of the class, there were like, I don't know, 12 people in a class. And then like at the end of the class, there were like three left. People just left. They were just
That's not good. That's not good. Well,
yeah.
I'm glad that you stuck with it and you've polished your set. Where do you normally perform? Is there the which comedy club do you normally perform at?
Um, I I don't know. I was doing a lot of Zoom shows during the pandemic, and before that, I think I was like all over. And now I'm trying to find a home venue because um, I was doing some shows at the Canyon Club by my house, but it didn't really work out. It was just too huge, about 400 capacity
Yeah.
room. That was way too big. I need something smaller to do shows.
I interviewed the founders. There's this app called A Live Show. A Live spelled it all in one word. show, and you can actually do it from home,
Oh,
where you get
really?
like 3 minutes, but you get to practice. You can work out your material, but then there's people in the audience, kind of like here, but their mics are open so they can clap, they can give you points, you can hear them laugh. And it was built pretty much during the pandemic to help stand-up comedians that want to do stand-up from home. So if you want, I'll send you the link.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. That'd
interviewed
be
them
great.
last year. It's a great app.
That sounds great. And
Yes.
yeah, I also do like flappers. I've done. Oh, I just did. I just won the golden ticket at the comedy store. So I did the 3 minute spot.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
fun. It was fun.
of course, of course. How did you meet Christine Blackburn?
I met her at the show, at her show, for the storytelling show at the
Yeah.
Flappers.
Oh, yeah, of course, of course. That makes sense. Have you done her show yet?
Yeah, she had me do her show, and then I did Hollywood Fringe show, and she was my co-creator for the show
Oh,
called
that's
How
right. I
Did
wanted
You
to
Get
ask you
to
about
LA?
that.
Yeah,
You guys co-created a show. Tell me a
yeah.
little bit about that show.
Oh, so it was a full women storytelling show, and it was I don't know, it was the best project I've ever did, and it was for women. We talk about how we got to LA and how we love it, and we all had a turn in our story, like we came out, that LA made us a real woman kind of show. So it
Oh,
was like, I don't wanna make it like oh, it's an inspiring show, but it was an inspiring show.
I love it. What's the name of the show?
Oh, it's How Did You Get to LA?
How did you get to LA? That's brilliant. Well, I'm glad you worked with her because she's very
Yeah.
talented as well. So good job, bravo, kudos, kudos. So what's next for Michelle? What else do you have? What else are you working on? Do you have a TV show? Do you have more music? What are you working on?
Okay, so I wrote a song called Bagel because my daughter likes K-pop, and she likes the a group called Twice, and they had a song named called Donut, and my daughter's like, "Oh, mom, you should write a song about donuts." So I wrote a song called Bagel.
Jewish donuts. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
perfect.
yeah. And I I had so much fun, so I'm gonna write another song, and I just need a little inspiration to write a song. And
Churros.
okay, I want to be a great stand-up comedian, but also one of my dreams is to be a one-hit wonder.
Wait. Back up. You're dreaming about being a one-hit wonder. You don't want more than one hit? Just
I
one.
just want one. I'm not a musician.
I love that. If I can help you make that, that's
Yeah, so
wonderful.
I was like, okay, how do I become a one-hit wonder? And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to know basic of music writing. So I was taking a music theory class, music theory 1 at the community college by my house, but they don't offer music theory 2 this coming semester, so I'm really upset. But I'm going back in spring to take the music theory 2, and then I'll become the one-hit wonder.
Is that your
My
cat?
cat's not happy about that, but
Um, how about writing a song called churro or churros? Churros are like Mexican
yeah,
donuts, but they're
Mexican. Yeah,
long.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah. Oh, and crispy and sweet, cinnamony. It
Wow,
has
you know
the
more about.
ridge.
Yeah, there's your song. They
You
got
know.
Pop's got donuts. You got churros.
Well, I should sing about mochi.
Mochi. There you go. Yeah, your cat or the food.
Yeah, my both. Oh, maybe not. Maybe just one.
I'm gonna eat mochi. Cat's like, no, 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 no.
No,
Are you performing anytime soon? Are
yeah,
you
I'm performing on Monday, and I don't know. I'm trying to perform many times as possible, and then I'm going to New York next weekend, so I'm performing in New York as well.
so this would be the middle of August
The middle of
2022 for those of you
August,
that
yeah,
are
yeah, and
listening.
then I'm going to San Francisco at the end of the month. Do you know why? San Francisco pen show. I love pens, so I mean, I'm going to San Francisco pen show.
Pens that you write
Pen,
with.
yeah, pen.
Did you used to work for a notebook company
I
or
still
something?
do. I still do. I work for a notebook company called Maruman,
Is
and
that
oh my god,
Japanese?
yeah, that Japanese. The paper's so smooth, like baby's butt.
I would love to try that. I'm a fan of
Oh,
stationery, if you will.
okay. Well, send me your address, and I'll send you some samples.
Really? Oh, that would
Yeah.
be wonderful.
Do
They,
what kind of pens do you use?
I've had everything from cross pens to Mont Blanc
Nice.
to I used to write with the fountain pens. I've always enjoyed fountain pens, but just whatever I can get my hands on, I enjoy
You
those.
like
I
gel
had
pen?
what kind? Gel? Yeah, yeah, all kinds of pens. I'm a big fan. I lose them all the time, so that's why I'd rather have a nice watch than a pen because I'm probably going to lose. I'm going to lend it to somebody and then it's going to disappear. I've lost
And
so
don't
many.
you can't lend your pens to your friends,
No,
and they're not gonna be your friends anymore.
exactly. What's your favorite pen? What kind of pens do you like?
I like few different kinds of pens. I like friction because you could erase, and I also like gel pens. I like, I don't know, uni one. They are nice looking pen and it writes well. And also because I'm getting old, I need to have darker ink. that's
I
that's
didn't
a
think
thing.
about that.
Yeah, and I also like fountain pens. I like purple inks and green inks. I also like blue. I don't know. I like I love them all.
That's brilliant. What? Tell me a little bit more about. I'm fascinated about this paper company. They sell paper for all kinds, or do they come in notebooks, or do you
Yeah,
buy it loose?
they have four different kinds of products. They have notebooks, for fountain pens, regular note studying, note taking, and they also have a sketch. They started out as a sketchbook company, so they have like all kind of sketchbooks for markers, crayons, and light watercoloring because like heavy watercolor papers are very expensive. Like it could be like $300 for a sketchbook.
Wow.
Yeah, so we don't sell those. We sell like beginner, intermediate kind of watercolor sketchbooks. And oh, we've been around for like 100 years. 19,
Tell
yeah,
me,
it was founded in 1920. And so sketchbooks, notebooks, and the binders, Japanese style binders. There are 26 holes for B5 size binders, and the paper, the refill paper, is so good. It's smooth, and all the paper is custom made and milled in Japan. So everything is made in Japan, and it's like I used to like Muji notebooks, and I thought that was good, but I always hated the first page because it doesn't fold out flat. But the ring, like spiral notebooks, these spiral notebooks opens flat, and you could also fold over so to save space on the desktop, and it's just so smooth. And only four people in the world know the recipe for these papers, like Coca-Cola.
I was
I'm
going to
not.
bring.
I'm a
I
little
was going to.
passionate about notebooks and pens.
You sure are, and I was going to ask you about that because I recently saw. I think it was a documentary on handcrafted paper from Japan, the rich history of your paper making
Like
industry.
washi papers.
Yes. Yes. So that's so interesting. Tell me again the name of this company that you're a brand ambassador for.
It's Maruman, Maruman. I know it's the R, but we pronounce it Maruman.
And do you have a referral code, or where can people
No,
go
I don't
buy
have a
this?
referral code. I just like trying to. I'm like a evangelist. Like people. I mean, like yeah. Once you use it, I don't know. Once I use it, I'm just doesn't. It works very well with regular writing utensils.
Wait, I'm sold. I want to. I actually want to buy
Send me
some.
your yeah.
So
I'll send me your address and I'll send you some samples.
oh, that would be great. Now I'm going to go down the rabbit hole and start buying expensive paper. So thank you for that.
It's not that expensive. I think it's cheaper than the moleskins. It, and I hate those papers because they bleed a lot with my pens, and like you can't use the backside. It just it's expensive and nice looking notebook, but not good paper.
Do you write your comedy in these notebooks?
Yes, I do. I do. I like write everything, and then I
I'm
type it.
surprised. I'm surprised that not every single comedian out there has one of your notebooks, because you should talk to the company, to other people. I should implement them for myself, but you should have them do a notebook or something that you can give to your comedian friends, because all the comedians are always looking for notebooks and pens to write with.
Yes, I know. I also made my own pen, has my promo on it. So I give people sample of notebooks and then I give them pens.
You need a pen if you have a notebook.
I know.
Well, you have such an interesting story. I could continue talking to you forever, but I know that you're busy. So I just want to say thank you so much for sharing
Oh,
your
thank you
life with
so
us.
much.
Oh, it is my absolute pleasure. And I can't wait to see what else you do, what other songs you write, and anything that I can do to help, by all means, please reach out. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. It's so nice to meet you. If you need a member for your improv team, call.
I will. When you mentioned that it's so hard to keep improv teams together, you're so right. I put together one in Chicago 25 years ago, and they're still going. So
Oh,
there
wow.
are, every now and then you'll find a team that'll stick together, but normally you're right. They last 3 months, six
Yeah.
months, maybe a
Yeah.
year,
Well,
and
I
then
had
they're
a
done.
team that I loved, and we were together for like over a year and a half, and then it just
It's a
and I
long
couldn't
time.
find yeah I couldn't find anybody else like that, so gave up.
I hear you. I feel your pain.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of the show. I would really want to ask you guys to head on over to Apple Podcasts, also Spotify, and give Paul Vato Presents a like, give us a follow. That will really help us out. If you're so inclined, we have a Patreon where for $3 a month, you can get all this great entertainment. That would be wonderful. That would also be very helpful. And please head on over to Michelle's Instagram and follow her there. Can people follow you on Instagram or TikTok?
Yeah, that'd be great. And Malizaki.
Malizaki. Malizaki.